Hey YBC students, this is Mr. Mac. Today I've got a video for you on how to write an email. Now, this video is going to be covering how to write an email as well as use your Gmail interface so you can get the most out of your email this fall here at YABC. I encourage you to watch this whole video all the way through the first time, and then when you need help writing emails later on, refer back to the video. There's bookmarks throughout the YouTube video. Simply click on that bookmark to cover, whatever area of the email writing process you need assistance with. Whether it's how to address the email, how to do an attachment, how to make sure your email makes sense. So go ahead and tune in and watch my video as I walk you through how to write an email. So before I get into in depth, I really want to walk you through why it's so important that you know how to write emails and how it's going to help you in the future. So emails are going to be the most important way that you're going to communicate with your teachers and us counselors this fall. It's really important that when you're communicating with us that you're using emails because it helps give you a written record of what you talked about with us and what you requested. Now that's important, especially during this time of COVID when everything is so uncertain and it's really easy to get mixed up on what's going on. It's going to help clarify. I requested my transcript at this day. I needed help with my schedule. I needed a resource, my learning device, whatever it is. It's going to help make sure that there's a written record for you. And it's also going to help loop in everyone that's involved, from your guidance counselors, Mr. Gadsden, your YABC counselor, maybe your teachers. We can all know what's going on in one message rather than you having to call everybody and remind people. It's all there, and you can also refer back to it. Secondly, emails are how people communicate in the working world. When they need to send important documents along or ask questions, when you're in the working world, you generally do that via email. So it's important that you know how to write a professional email that clearly communicates what you need. And like I said before, in the world of COVID-19, emails are the main tool to help you stay in contact with someone, whether it's your teachers and wondering if something's been graded, or us counselors and just wanting to check in on something we're helping you work on. Use your email. So when we talk about using Gmail, it's important that you understand the interface, what's on the screen, how to use Gmail effectively, where all the buttons are, so that if you're looking for something, you can find it again. So really quickly, look here with my cursor. I'm going to show you, this is where all the emails you're going to be receiving, the emails that you might have sent in the past, whatever's in the folder you're in, this is where the emails are going to be. If it's white like this, that means that it's currently unread, you haven't opened it yet. Or if it's gray, you have opened it in the past. So over here on the left, you're also going to see we have a number of folders. Now these folders each deal with something different in your email. Your inbox is where you're receiving emails. If someone sent you something, you're going to find it there. The foil to that, the opposite of inbox, is your sent box. That's where everything I've sent is going to be. So if I need to go back and see what I said in the past email, or make sure something actually got attached and sent properly, that's where you're going to go. The trash box is anything that's been deleted in the past. That's where you're going to go. That's where you're going to be able to find things. You can actually move things back into your inbox, or you can delete them permanently. So pretty self-explanatory. It's like the recycling bin on a computer. The other two folders that I really want you to be aware of are the draft folder and the starred folder. Draft folder is for emails you've started but haven't sent. And with every keystroke, any Google technology, whether it's Google Docs, G Sheets, Gmail, it's auto-saving. As long as you're connected to the internet, it will save for you. If you're not connected to the internet, then you need to keep it open until you get connected to the internet, but you can work offline too. So the drafts section is where anything I've started but I haven't sent out is going to be. So maybe I've composed the body of an email. Maybe I don't have their email addresses. I can save it. Or I have their email addresses and I got interrupted. I can leave it as it is. So that's where you're going to be able to find that. And then the starred section is if you have a really important email and you want to keep track of it, go ahead and star it. And you can sort later by clicking the starred section and it'll appear over here. Let me show you. I've got this one I received in the past. I'm going to click star, and then I click on the starred folder, and there it is. If anything is not working, click refresh or shut the window down, open it back up. Always a great trick to make sure your Gmail is working. Lastly, use the search file up here. You can use the search bar and you'll be able to locate anything that you might need from your past emails. You can do a keyword search. You can search by people's email addresses or their names. Anything that's been typed, it'll sort through, whether it was a subject, the body of the email addresses, the content, the attachment, whatever. That can also help you find your emails faster. And of course, up here you've got your log out button if you click through there, and you can get to Google Classroom through this 9-dot button. When starting a new email, you're going to look for the Compose button. The Compose button is located just above the inbox folder. It has a Google Colors plus, and it says Compose. When you think of compose, think composing a piece of music. All our emails are going to be works of art, right? Terrible. So composing is how we start a new email. It is how you begin an email. That's where it is. This is the number one question I get. So please, please, please know how to start a new email. When you start the new email, the first thing you should do is address the email. Make sure the email is going to the right person. Similarly, if you're writing a letter, you put the address at the front and the person's name. That's what we're doing here electronically. So there's 3 fields you can put into: to, CC, and BCC. The to field is for the person who should actually be responding to the email, who you really want to get the email. You can put more than one person in the to field. The CC field is for people that you want to be looped in. That means that they don't need to respond, but you want to make sure that they get the information. For you, this fall, whenever you send an email to a teacher, a guidance counselor, Mr. Batista, you should always CC your YABC counselor and Mr. Gadsden. I will say that again. This fall, if you contact anybody in the DOE across teachers, guidance counselors, or principals, you must CC Mr. Gadsden as well as your YABC counselor. BCC, it's how you can do the same thing as CC, but the people that are in the to and CC field won't be able to see that you received the email. For the subject, every email must have one. If you don't have one, it looks like a spam or a scam email and people won't even open it. So you must always have a subject. It'll also help people search in their email inbox for your email specifically. So make sure that your subjects are short. The first letter is capitalized in all the words like a title, and it helps people understand what the email is about. So let's go do that together now. Let's go start a new email. And where was that again? Ah, yes, right above the inbox. There's the Compose button. And here we go. We've got a new email that we're going to be playing around with. So let's say, for instance, that this email is going to be about me wanting to join the internship program, which we offer. I'm going to need to email Mr. Gadsden, who is in charge of the internship program. I have his email address saved in my email, contacts. So if I just start typing it in, there it is. If you don't have it, you have to type it all the way out. But remember, it seems like a lot of work to first type it in. Once you get them in there once, they'll pop back up each time. And let's say that your counselor is me, Mr. Mac. Make sure you CC me, MA, and there I am. So because we're sending it to Mr. Gadsden, we don't need to CC him. We are CCing Mr. Mac, he's our YABC counselor, and we're good to go. Let's make sure our subject is short, it's to the point, and we capitalize it. How about this? I'm interested in the internship program. And there we go. So we've got our email addresses in here, who's getting it. We are subject, and look, now the subject is up here at the top. It doesn't say new message anymore. That's how you know we're good to go. So you've addressed your email, you know who it's going to, you have a subject so that the person receiving it's going to know what it's about. Let's do the body of the email. Now the body of the email is going to be organized like this. There's going to be a greeting. It's going to be a good afternoon, good evening, good morning, greetings, hello, whatever the person's name is, and a comma. You're going to space it down a couple times. Then you're going to have the content. notice that there's 2 or 3 sentences committed to what this email is actually about. And then there's spaced down one more sentence, and that's like the follow-up sentence. It tells them what you need for them, how best for them to follow up with you. Maybe it's got your phone number, please reach out to me with this or that thing. It should leave the person who's received the email clear instructions on what you're expecting back from them. And then there should be a closing, thank you, comma, kind regards, comma, sincerely, comma. If you're looking for any help with your salutations and your closing statements, you can go Google balancecareers.com, salutations or closing. There's lots of good examples in there, as well as more information about how to write a great email. So we kind of understand how to write the body of an email. Let's go ahead and use our sample email here to do that. Greetings, Mr. Gadsden. Space down twice, right? And Smart Compose, this can be super helpful. I definitely want this. So now, Gmail actually sometimes helps fill in your email for you. You'll see gray stuff. If you hit this right arrow on your keyboard, it will actually help you write the email. So let's see if it's going to work for me right now. I heard about the internship program from Mr. Mac. I'm interested in joining. And then I want to have him follow up with me. And this is the thing I want him to follow up. So I space down twice. Is there anything else I need? There's our Smart Compose, right? To do, I'm going to hit my right arrow and boom, just use Smart Compose. And then now I need a closing statement, right? Thank you, Mr. Mac. Boom. So I'm good to go. And why don't we go ahead and hit send and see if it gets sent off? Yep. And there we are. I can come back and look at that same email I sent off. Greetings, Mr. Getz. I heard about the internship program for Mr. Mac. I'm interested in joining. Is there anything else I need to do? Looks great. When we're talking about emails, we oftentimes attach files, otherwise known as attachments. Attachments can be pictures like JPEG, they could be a Word doc like an assignment, a PowerPoint presentation, or it could be a PDF, which is like a Word doc, except people can't copy from it, they can't make changes to it. So if you're sending a resume or you're sending something that is like, not something you want to have other people be able to make changes to or claim ownership of, send it as a PDF. In order to send an attachment, you're going to click this paperclip button. It's just to the right of send. And I can tell you that the #1 mistake that most people make when they're sending an email is they forget to attach the file, which was the whole point of sending the email. So I'm going to show you how to not make that same mistake. So here we are. I've got my YABC internship email. And let's say Mr. Gadsden responded back and said, hey, I need your New York State ID in order to get you signed up for the internship. Okay, so I go over to my file where my New York State ID is. Let's pretend that I have a picture here and I need to download it. So I go to File, Download. And instead of using Microsoft Word, remember, this is something that I don't want Mr. Gadsden to be able to copy and send around or make changes to. I want to save it as a PDF. And as you can see, I've got some other copies of the file down here, and boom, there it is at the bottom left corner of my screen. I'm using Google Chrome for anyone who's curious. Some other browsers might do something different. So then I can either click Attach Files, a window will pop up, and I can then go to my downloads and click it from there or wherever else is my computer. Or this might be helpful for other folks, I can actually drag the PDF over here and then drop it. And if I click on it, I can then open it. And again, it's downloading the same thing I had. And so you guys can see what a PDF looks like. Here's my file. Always great to click back in and make sure it's exactly what it looks like. And now my #1 tip for making sure you don't forget to attach the file is write in the email, see attached for my New York State ID. The key words I used here was see attached, this language, because look what's going to happen if I don't have an attached file and I try and send this. Gmail's not going to let me. It says, hey, you said see attached. Where's the attached file? So whenever you're sending anything, you should always write see attached. So before you hit that send button, I want you to double check your email. This is one of the biggest tips that I can give you about writing emails. Everyone who's a professional, everyone who does anything to do with emails always double checks everything that they wrote before they send it. So the things to look for are, did I put the correct email addresses in? Doesn't matter how great your email was if it's not getting to the right people. Did I attach the file? Now, a neat trick that you can use when you are going to attach the file is you can write in the email, see attached. Gmail will then ask you if you didn't attach a file and you hit send, hey, did you mean to attach something? By seeing that you wrote see attached, Gmail's automatically looking for the attachment. Super helpful hint. Can the attached file be open? Did you actually attach the right file? Go ahead and click on your file before you hit send. You can open it up, make sure that the person receiving it will be able to understand what you sent. Maybe you attached the wrong thing. Don't want to be doing that. And lastly, and most importantly, does the body of the email make sense and actually say what you meant? Go ahead and read your email out loud to you. If it doesn't make sense or it doesn't say what you meant it for it to, redo it. Lastly, after you've hit send, you can always go back to the sent folder to go and check the email and make sure that it went through and that it's been sent out. Sometimes you hit send and you're like, oh, did it actually even get there? That's a great way to go and check. I hope this has been really helpful for everyone who is trying to write emails, especially in this time of crisis. Remember, if you need anything, contact your YBC counselor or contact me, Mr. Mack. I'm always happy to help you out. Thanks.